Every call to a marina ends the same way. There is no space. Not this season. Maybe not for years. Slips are 95% full across the country, and aging marinas are closing or selling waterfront land for condos, so waitlists just keep growing. There are more boats on the water than ever, and new marinas are nearly impossible to build, so the whole business of owning a boat is changing, and fast. Why has finding a slip become almost impossible, and what does this mean for every current and future boat owner? If you want real insights into what is happening beneath the surface, feel free to subscribe for more. At the heart of the marina shortage is a wait list that rarely moves. Most marinas in the US report occupancy above 95%, with many running at absolute capacity year after year. The ledger in a typical marina office tells the story. Names fill the columns, some penciled in for more than a decade. A manager flips through pages, each line a boater hoping for a call that rarely comes. Once someone secures a slip, they tend to hold on to it for years, sometimes even passing it along to family. The result is a queue that barely budges, with turnover rates so low that a dozen openings in a year can be considered lucky. In the Great Lakes region, public marina wait lists now stretch from 7 to 15 years, and even private marinas cannot promise much better. At Elk Rapids, Michigan, the top applicant has waited since 2014. In Traverse City, only 2 or 3 slips might free up each year for a list of over 400 people. Some marinas charge annual fees just to keep your name in line, and a missed call or delayed response can drop someone straight to the bottom. The reality is these lists grow longer every season, not shorter. For many, the wait for a slip is measured not in months, but in milestones. A child starting school, a retirement date, a decade gone by. The scarcity is baked into the system long before a single marina closes its gates or a new condo breaks ground. You call marinas and hear there is no availability. Marina slips aren't just scarce because of long wait lists, they are vanishing from the map entirely. Across the country, marinas are closing or selling out to developers, drawn by the soaring value of waterfront land. In Florida, only 5% of marinas have opened in the last decade, while some facilities have operated for more than 75 years. That means most of the infrastructure boaters rely on is aging, and very little is being built to replace what is lost. The story played out in sharp focus at Tierra Verde, just outside St. Petersburg. In 2025, Greenleaf Capital proposed a $33 million redevelopment. The plan would have replaced a 40-year-old marina with Florida's second-largest boat storage facility, adding a new restaurant and retail space. The project promised 711 dry racks, up from 314, but it also sparked intense pushback from residents worried about traffic, evacuation routes, and the changing character of their waterfront. After months of debate, the proposal was withdrawn before the City Development Review Commission could vote. The marina survived, but the episode underscored how fragile these places have become, one decision away from disappearing or being transformed beyond recognition. A former marina manager described the dilemma simply. We could not afford to keep up with repairs, and the land was worth more than the business. When the right offer came, it was hard to say no. That calculation is happening up and down the coast, as owners face rising property taxes, insurance, and mounting maintenance on facilities built decades ago. The result is clear. Slips aren't just full, they are physically disappearing, one closure or conversion at a time. The surge in boat ownership during the pandemic changed the math at marinas almost overnight. In 2020, registrations for recreational boats in the US hit 12 million, a 1% jump from the year before, on top of an estimated 15.6 million boats in use, including those not officially registered. That year, new boat sales spiked by 40%, with first-time buyers making up nearly a third of new sales. For many, it was a way to find safe outdoor recreation close to home. By 2021, registration numbers held steady, but the impact was already locked in, hundreds of thousands of new owners all looking for a place to keep their boats. A state boating registrations official described the trend as a wave that has not fully receded. In Florida, for example, registrations climbed to 1.2 million in 2024, a nearly 27% increase year over year. The South Atlantic region as a whole saw a 12.4% jump. Even as sales cooled in 2023 and 2024, the backlog of buyers from the pandemic years kept pressure on every slip and rack. This is not just a story about yachts and big cruisers. The rise in day boating and smaller trailerable craft has changed who is on the water and what kind of storage they need. But the common thread is the same: more boats than slips, and nowhere near enough new infrastructure to keep up. A chart from the state boating office shows the gap widening every year, registered boats climbing while slip counts hold flat or even drop. For every new owner who calls a marina, there are dozens more in line, all chasing the same shrinking pool of spaces. Every plan to add marina slips runs into a wall of permits and price tags. Building even a small dock or expanding an existing marina means navigating a labyrinth of approvals, federal, state, and local. A city planner might start with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for Section 10 and 404 permits, covering everything from pilings to dredging. That alone can take 1 to 3 years, especially if an environmental impact statement is required. State agencies step in next, demanding water quality certifications, habitat studies, and coastal zone reviews. Each layer adds months, sometimes a full year, to the clock. Local governments pile on zoning reviews, fire safety plans, and public hearings, often stretching the process to 5 years or more before a single piling hits the water. A marina contractor lays out the budget. Environmental studies can run hundreds of thousands of dollars, and mitigation for wetlands or eelgrass might double that. Construction itself is no small feat. Per slip, costs routinely land between $10,000 and $20,000, depending on site conditions and infrastructure needs. That covers pilings, floating docks, utilities, and wave barriers, plus the inevitable surprises when building on water. For a 50-slip expansion, the bill can top $1 million before the first boat ties up. The financial math does not get easier after opening. Most new slips take a decade or two to pay off, especially in markets where rental rates are capped by local incomes or by seasonal demand. Investors see a long road to profit and plenty of risk from storms, lawsuits, and shifting regulations. For many, the hurdles are high enough to keep new marinas an idea on paper, not a reality on the water. Owner A scans the latest slip invoice, eyes catching on the new monthly rate, $19 per foot every month, year-round. For a 30-foot boat, that is nearly $600 before taxes or utilities, almost double what it cost a decade ago. Still, walking away is not an option. The boat is part of family summers and weekend escapes, and the idea of selling or storing it inland feels impossible. So the budget stretches. Groceries come from the discount store. Vacations get shorter, but the slip fee gets paid month after month. In some regions, rates have climbed even higher, with $20 per foot now common in popular harbors. Owner A knows friends who have moved their boats to marinas 40 miles away just to save a few $100s. For those determined to stay, the cost of keeping the boat becomes just another part of boating life. Owner B faces the same wall of rising slip fees and endless waitlists, but chooses a different route. Instead of stretching the budget or waiting years for a call, they decide to sell the boat and join a local boat club. Clubs like Freedom and Carefree are growing fast, offering members access to a fleet of boats without the hassle of slip rentals or maintenance. For many, this means more time on the water and less time worrying about storage. Dry stack storage is another option gaining ground, especially for owners of smaller boats. Facilities store vessels indoors on racks, ready to launch with a phone call. These alternatives do not just sidestep the slip shortage, they also reduce costs and commitments, making boating possible for people who might otherwise give up. The landscape is changing, but adaptation keeps boaters afloat. Today, marina waitlists can stretch over a decade, while waterfronts disappear and demand keeps rising. For thousands of boaters, access isn't just about money, it's about opportunity slipping away in real time. The future of boating hinges on how or if we choose to protect public access. What's your take?